Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I wanted to come in today and talk about all these little girls that are missing in DC and why there is no media coverage concerning all these missing babies. Over the past few weeks, I have been seeing tweets and Facebook posts about all these little girls that are missing in Washington. I think in the span of 1 week, 10 little black girls went missing. And I'm going to say this. I live in Ohio, and there are girls missing here too. I'm originally from Cleveland, and I see Facebook posts of a lot of little girls that are coming up missing in my hometown. The reason I wanted to do this video is because I thought about how if this were a little white girl or white girls missing, this amount of missing young women, young girls, how there would be so much media coverage over it. And then I got to thinking about the value that's placed on our lives. You know, a lot of times when a child of color goes missing, the first thing the police have to ask, and that's with any child, is could they possibly be a runaway? Then after the police determine that, the police will, get the story and then determine if this is a child that's in imminent danger. And then from there, they will start their investigation. When it comes to our children, I don't think that there is such an urgency, to find them. A lot of times people will say that as blacks, we always put down the police or we always have negative things to say about them. But when you look at this epidemic of young girls that are missing in Washington, and there has not been a call out from the police department to the media to get these images out of these little girls that are missing. There has not been, Amber Alerts put out for these young girls that are missing. It makes you question, again, the value they put on our lives. I don't see any difference in these young girls missing as to when Elizabeth Smart was missing, little Kaylee Anthony was missing. These are little girls that have just suddenly disappeared. And the amount of them missing just in the first 3 months of this year is horrifying. It's astounding that this amount of girls, 10 little girls in the span of a week, something is wrong. Is there a serial killer in DC that's targeting children of color? They say that these girls are African American and Latina. Just little girls, 14, 15, 11, 9. They're all under the age of 18. Why are their lives less important to the media than the life of a Caucasian little girl, blonde, blue-eyed? If this had been a rash of young white girls missing, 10 in the span of 7 days, it would be all over the media. And we know that. Let's not play games here. They would have been interrupting broadcasts on television. You would see the police on TV saying that they're looking, that there's an investigation. Now, maybe the police are looking. Maybe, they just don't get on television. I don't know. But it seems odd to me when I live in Ohio, these girls are missing in Washington, and the only way that I found out is through social media. It's through Twitter. It's through Facebook, Instagram. That's sad that, their lives are not important enough to be broadcast all across the media. It's sad. You know, I don't know how many young black girls have to go missing before there's an alarm sounded that something is wrong. It's either sex trafficking, a serial killer. There is something wrong. These girls are still missing, and there are more coming up missing every day. This takes me back to the Atlanta child, when those kids were missing from Atlanta. Same thing happened. The police didn't really, get in an uproar until so many of them had come up missing. 20, you know, 30, or it was just, the number was astounding. Had that been young white kids, when they saw that you know, 5, 6, 7 had come up missing in such a short span of time, there would have been a media blitz on television. We would have sat night by night watching them update the story about those missing kids. But it seems like to me when the children that are missing are black, it's like there's no urgency with the police. And that angers me. It worries me for our children because those parents whose children are missing, all of these kids cannot be runaways. That's the first thing the police say. Because if they think they're a runaway, they don't look as hard as they do if they think that the child is in imminent danger. So with our children, they automatically think, that we're bad kids, or that they're runaways, or that they're just involved with some friends and, don't worry, they'll be back. And in the meantime, it leaves those parents frantic. They don't know what to do. You go to the police, you give them all the information. My child has been missing. This is out of the ordinary. My child was on the way home from school and I've never seen her again. What are those parents to do if the police aren't helping them? If the media is not getting those pictures out there? What is a parent to do? I read a story about one missing young girl there in Washington, and the parents don't feel that the police are helping them. So it's just a husband and wife doing the best they can to try to find their child. I couldn't even imagine the pain that those parents are going through. Running here and there, trying to get someone to help them, because the more time that their child is missing, the less likely that they will find their child alive. They say the first 24 hours are the most crucial. And if you go to the police within the first 24 hours of your child, or the first few hours of your child missing, and it doesn't set a fire under them, then what are we to do as parents? We went to the police. We tried to go to the media to say, please, can you put my child's picture on television? My child is missing. We feel the same pain that white parents feel when their kids are missing. And we're not saying that we don't want them to look for your babies. We're not saying that we don't want them to put your babies on television. But what we are saying is do the same for ours. Do the same for our children. You know, I remember when Elizabeth Smart was missing, there was always something on television about that young girl. Natalie Holloway, she went on vacation, spring break. There was always something on television about her. But you count the times. Think of the times that you have watched television and there is a blitz of stories about missing young black girls. You don't see that. You just don't. It's because it's like our lives are not valued, or they think that those girls are just off doing something, they're up to no good. What could a 9-year old, a missing 9-year old black child be doing? You know, the mother sends the child to school and then the child never comes home from school. You know, the story will be that the child was last seen walking home from school and then the child just disappears. 9 years old. Why isn't there an urgency to find our children? I'm watching CNN, MSNBC, and my local news stations daily, and I don't see anything about these girls that are missing in DC. That is sad. It is sad. The only way that I found out is through Twitter, Facebook, and social media. Why is that? From what I'm understanding, there's upwards of 30 girls missing in the DC area, and possibly more. I read a story that they're across the country. There's up to 60,000 people, women of color, that are missing. Do we ever see anything on television about this alarming number of young black women that are missing? You tell me a broadcast. If you see one, put it down in the comment section. If you remember seeing a blitz across the television saying that, you know, sounding alarm that there are all these children missing in Washington. If you have a young girl and you live in that Washington area, be careful. You know, warn your child what's going on because something is happening there. There's something happening for all these girls to come up missing. And you know, they're saying that it could be sex trafficking. It could even be, y'all, a serial killer that is targeting people, young girls of color. Why is there no alarm being sounded? I'm so upset with this story. I wanted to do this story a couple days ago, but to talk about it as a woman of color, as a woman of color that has a young daughter, it makes me afraid to even talk about it. It scares me for my child. And I don't even live in the DC area. But I want them to report on our children missing. We don't want to take anything from you. We don't want them to not search for your daughter when she's missing. All we're asking is, if our children are missing, put them on television. Put out Amber Alerts. Get on television and tell everyone that there's an alarming number of young black girls missing from the area. You know, let the community know that they maybe need to look out for girls. If you see anything happening, report it. We don't see that on television when it comes to us. how do you expect us to feel? How should we feel? Imagine being a parent and you've gone to the police and you wait for something to happen. And you have to call the police to ask, are there any updates? And in the meantime, what do you do as a parent? Can you imagine what those parents are feeling? Especially when you know that your child is not a runaway. You know that this is out of character for your child to just disappear. Can you imagine the agony that those parents are going through? Our agony, our love for our children is no less than any other, you know, ethnic group. We love our kids just like you love yours. And the reason why I'm directing this kind of at the white community is because I know I'm going to get those trolls in my comments saying negative things about these young black girls. So this is to them. But also I want to speak to the people that are in that area. Please watch out for your daughters. Please, you know, tweet and retweet these images of these young girls that are missing. Now, I did hear that 2 of them were found. I don't see any follow-up stories explaining, you know, where they were, what happened, you know, anything like that. And like I said, I'm here in Ohio, and when they find them, I would like a follow-up story to understand what happened. You know, did someone take them and did something to them, but maybe didn't kill them, and then they were able to, to come home? You know, what happened? Don't leave us hanging. We need to know what the police know, or at least a little bit of it, so we'll know how to protect our children. Is someone coming into our neighborhoods taking our babies? Is there some sick serial killer out there, again, like I said earlier in the video, that's targeting young black females? These are babies. When you're under 18, you're 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, you are a baby. They're so young in some instances, they can't help themselves. They need us to look for them, to search for them, to go door to door, to interview people in the neighborhood. Did you see her? Did you see anything funny? Did you see any people out of the ordinary lurking around in the neighborhood? Why isn't there a national outcry over the number of young African American and Latina girls that are missing across this country? And right now, specifically in Washington. Why? Like I said, I didn't want to do this video, and I told myself when I did it, I was going to try to remain calm. I didn't want to be, cursing, or I didn't want this to be one of those type of videos. I want to sound the alarm, y'all. As a mother, I'm worried. I'm worried, not only for my child, but for your child as well. You know, we always say that it takes a village to raise a child. But it also takes a village for us to protect and to search for them when they go missing. So I'm going to end this video, but I just want to put a call out there to everyone. We got to keep our eyes open. We got to help each other. When something like this happens, since the media is not putting anything out, keep those social media alerts and updates on what's going on. Keep them coming, because that is the only way that I knew that this was happening in Washington. Twitter, Facebook, because the media sure isn't reporting this. And with that, y'all, I would like for you to leave comments in the comment section on how you feel about this. Please tweet out anything that you know on your Facebook. If you see a picture coming up of a missing child, please, you know, forward it on to all your contacts, because the media is not helping us. And with that, everyone, have a great day. Good Friday. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching the video. Bye-bye.